Hey again, everyone. Thank you for joining me. It's becoming increasingly more difficult for me to discuss NPD or narcissistic personality disorder without bringing into view the glaring correlation between the wider variety of narcissism or the narcissists and the narcs that are running the show currently. And I mean in the categories of especially our government, in the religious aspects, our educational system, the legacy or the mainstream, or as some people like to call it, the lamestream media. There seems to be, and I've talked about this before, there seems to be a correlation between the two, between the narcs that are in our lives, how many narcs we see in our lives, the narcissism that we see, increasing narcissism, and just the shitty behavior of people generally, and the people that are in charge. And I do say currently because they're not going to remain in charge forever. As a matter of fact, I believe that enough of us are waking up. Please don't use the term woke, because I believe if you do that, you are only falling into their plan to make you look like an idiot. And anyone that uses the term woke is not woke. Get it? Not awake. So, anyway, I've mentioned that in a couple of discussions I had before, and I have something special today from another source of a fellow that I respect and admire his work, and has a better way of articulating the macro of this issue in government agencies and the powers that be currently. And I asked him if I could share some of his information with you, and I was very happy that he said yes. The fellow's name is Stefan Verstappen, and Stefan is a writer, and he's got his own YouTube channel that's been around for a long time, and actually someone turned me on to his channel years ago. I think when I first started mine, they said you need to check out Stefan's channel, and it's awesome. I really like what Stefan has to say and how he has to say it, and not only does he articulate it well, he actually offers solutions to our issues, these issues that are happening, and it completely ties into narcissism completely. On that note, before I get into chatting about what Stefan's done and what I can say about him, that there's some things that are floating around in the realm of gaslighting, and this is just kind of a personal thing with me. There's about 3 or 4 things that are just stupidity, and I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in before I talk about Stefans Books. One, the way people are behaving, I've mentioned, is it's atrocious. There's so much just nonsense going on. One of them is this flat earth thing. This is just stupid. I mean, I can't even imagine why anyone would fall for the flat earth thing. And I know this sounds kind of maybe a little off topic, but to me it's like a giant trolling, gaslighting issue that keeps people from actually looking at real problems. Is the earth flat or not? If you can get people to discuss whether the earth is flat or not, man, you've pretty much trolled them into believing almost anything. And it's really just bizarre how people would even consider that. I mean, we proved this, God, hundreds of years ago. That didn't they try to put Galileo to death because he said we weren't the center of the solar system? And now we're going all the way back to, hundreds of years ago. And now, anyway. So that was one thing. Another thing, and I've lost a few. Not that I really care about subscribers that much. I mean, I do. I appreciate y'all showing up, but there's only 2 genders. this is another thing. It's another gaslighting thing. If you can get someone, I'm not going to take advice from someone who doesn't know what bathroom to use. I'm just not going to. I'm sorry. It's the most ridiculous. I know there's some folks that are confused, or there's even medical issues, and that's not what this channel's about, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not going to really care either way, but it's a very small minority for us, and I don't think we should bend society rules for a few people. The last one, space travel is real. There are things that are, there's satellites out there right now, hundreds if not thousands, that are taking care of business every day, and yes, we went to the moon. Another just retarded thing that I hear people say, that the moon landing, and one guy I really respect a lot, it's got a lot of followers on YouTube, and he thinks that it's not real, and space travel, I assure you, is real, and maybe some of those pictures were faked, and I can go with that, but as far as the landing goes, those are the three current big gaslighting issues that are keeping people off of the real issues. So I know it's a little off topic, but it actually does kind of tie into this more universal narcissism or universal psychopathy, because those ideas are so widespread that somebody with some power somewhere is disseminating this crap somewhere. So anyway, 2 Stefan's books. I hope that was a good lead-in to Stefan Verstappen's books. I have 3. I have Defense Against the Psychopath. This is probably the most important book in regards to the topics that I discuss. A brief introduction to human predators. It isn't that what narcissists really are? Narcissists being a nice term for a human predator. They take their time, they get you involved, and then they start to gaslight, lie, manipulate, and smear your name, and use you for everything that they can before they go ahead and discard you. Isn't that exactly right? So there's a few things that I'll discuss, or actually touch on in here. I'm not going to read it because I want you to go to Stefan's website and YouTube channel, and I'd like you to purchase these. By the way, I'm not paid. This isn't a paid advertisement. I just really like Stefan's work. Another one is A Master's Guide to the Way of the Warrior. This is a really cool book. Again, this isn't for everyone. I know that everyone that visits narcissism channels are not going to like these books, but I thought that it had enough information in it that it might be useful to some of you. And then the book that the Defense Against the Psychopath came out of is The Art of Urban Survival, a Family Safety and Self-Defense Manual. And I think he says in here that it's not meant to be read from cover to cover, but I read the whole thing cover to cover, and there is some excellent information in here that you may find interesting as well. But again, to the first book is Defense Against the Psychopath. The reason why I wanted to talk about this book in particular is because it lists out the exact criteria of what a narcissist or narcopath is. And like I said, I'm not going to read it all to you, but skimming through, he talks about surviving the predators. He talks about the psychopath. Here's a really neat quote from H.L. Mencken, another guy who I admire. The urge to save humanity is almost always a false face for the urge to rule it. And that's on both sides of our political parties. I still think the left is worse than the right, but the right is not much better. So we don't even have to discuss or argue about that, do we? What a bunch of fucking assholes both sides are. It's just like the whole government. The whole government. It just seems like it just attracts these people. I don't trust anyone that I've seen. Some I trusted a little more than others. Some I'm disappointed in. And some are just ridiculous, just clown world, just bullshit. I can't believe that we're even letting these people run our lives. The key characteristics in this book that he talks about, which are exactly like a narcissist. Again, I think it's more in the lines of the macrocosm and the larger picture of what's happening is lack of empathy. We all know that the narcissist has lack of empathy. They don't care about anyone but themselves. Lack of remorse. superficiality, they're fake, phony. The grandiosity talks about the irresponsibility of the psychopath. The impulsive behavior is one that I'm not exactly sure about. It seems to me that the psychopaths that I have known have pretty good control of themselves, but that's a point to read on your own. Poor behavioral control, lacking goals, and compulsive lying. So there's some descriptions in the book that discuss narcissism down to a T. This book's only 25 pages long, and I think that you can order it. I think that you can still order it on Amazon. If not, I'm sure that you can find it and ask Stefan yourself. But I found it to be a really, if you're studying psychopathy, what's happened to you, narcissism, and how it relates to you in your life and what's going on with it, this is a really good book to have in your arsenal. It is indispensable for our purposes, for what we've been discussing for years now. There's a lot of, I mean, we've already talked about this stuff thousands of times, and there's hundreds of channels, and this is nothing new, talking about the psychopath. But what I like about Stefan's books is he's actually offers solutions to this, solutions to our problems. Again, his material is not for everyone, and even this video is not for everyone. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's tough. It's not what you're after. If you're looking for solutions, this might offer a few for you. Again, this is not a paid advertisement, and it's just, like I said, I admired his work, and wanted to share that with you all. So with that being said, I hope that you do pick those up. I think that he's working on another project, and he is looking for funding for it. And if you were so inclined, I'm sure that book sales would help those the funding of his newest project. And seems like a really good guy to me. I haven't gotten to talk with him that much, but anyhow, I asked if I could mention it, and he said yes, and there you go. So anyway, I hope that helps someone today, and I hope to see you all again real soon.